r/AskReddit. What do people think is healthy but really isn't? Activated charcoal. It's amazing if you've been poisoned, but it absorbs good nutrients and medications as well. I'm getting so sick of seeing it in everything. A few weeks ago, the lady who runs my group therapy for suicidal people provided charcoal biscuits as snacks. Needless to say, not a single one was touched and many people were triggered, haha. That's really bad since many of those people must be on meds. The charcoal would negate them. Fat-free doesn't mean miracle weight loss. Panera bread, granola bars. Fat-free usually means shitload of added sugars. Smoothies from smoothie shops. They use sorbets, ice creams, and juices with an insane amount of sugar in them. My sister worked at a smoothie shop and people would always come in after going to the gym. It's not what most people think it is. The place I work at actually doesn't make them with anything more than frozen fruit and coconut milk. The prices are horrendous though. I find myself craving smoothies after the gym as my body is desperate for a sugary cold drink. And I remind myself that I'm a chubby penguin and move on. The stupid cleanses. Your body naturally gets rid of toxins and stuff. You just need to drink water. If you need to clean anything, it's your liver. Give it 6 weeks without alcohol or drugs, it'll thank you for it. That's hard. Can I just have a yucky tea once? I was a manager of a Jamba Juice for a year or so and people used to come in BC. They got it was healthy, but the most commonly ordered smoothie by this crowd, apples and greens, the small size is 44 grams of sugar. Most of the smoothies are packed in sugar. Anything Dr. Oz tries to sell you. PS. Yes. And duckine raspberries too. Wow, thanks for the gold. But Dr. Oz said, every grandma. Nothing, you idiots. Dr. Oz is dead. He's locked in my basement. Granola bars. The one I was eating daily had the nutritional value of a Snickers. Granola bars were always meant to be a portable, non-perishable and high-energy snack which is automatically going to have carbs and sugar. Reminds me of the breakfast cookie shit people make and then they somehow decide it is healthy because it's not bacon or chocolate. I don't even understand. Popularity edit. On the topic of advertising. Very few brands actually advertise as health food. They advertise to active people. And I think the effect of seeing healthy people in the advertisements is part of what gives that false sense of nutritional value. Forgiving a family member simply because they're family. Sometimes people do horrible things to others and you're better off without them in your life, regardless of relation. Edit. A lot of people have brought up a great distinction that I neglected. The old adage, forgive but don't forget. By all means, forgive the person. That does not equate to letting them back into your life. And the reason people say to forgive is for your own health and well-being, not because of the person who wronged you. Forgiveness does not mean you've swept it under the rug. My sister and mother both expect me to forgive my sister for abusing me, physically and emotionally, because we are sisters. But she has yet to even admit that she even did wrong or utter a single syllable of an apology. Low fat, 100% fat free. Haha. Where I live the supermarket has pre-sliced garlic that is labeled as fat free and gluten free. No shit. It's garlic. You laugh and say no shit. But there is a reason it is labeled, and that is most likely because quite a few people asked. Dedicating your entire life to your work without an outlet separate of it. Same goes with overbearing relationships. You will begin to resent whatever you enjoy if it's the sole reason for your existence. 100%. I work in a corporate office setting and it's sad how many of my peers think working 10-12 hour days is something to brag about. First off, the company doesn't care about me enough to warrant working that many hours. Second, we're not out here saving lives, so it benefits nobody except the higher ups. I do my 8 hours and bounce the duck out. You ain't catching me working that many hours just to get a few brownie points here and there. Even then, it's not like they're getting much extra work done. After my 8 hours are up, I can maybe keep going at like 20% of the speed I'd normally be able to work. So an extra 2 hours of work might get me a half hour caught up, if that makes sense. I have a co-worker who works 12-hour days regularly, but she's overstressed and her work is always riddled with mistakes. She works hard but she never works smart. It's a shame because she really thinks it's going to move her up the company, when the company doesn't give a shit about us. Bottling up their emotions so others don't have to hear it. For most people, emotions are like farts. You may struggle to find a good time and place to let them out, but if you never let them out, you'll explode. Randomly breaking down crying in the shower counts as emotional release, right? Fat-free food. Yeah, to make up for the loss of fat, they pump it full of sugars. Besides that, your body needs fats. Fats aren't some evil, bad, chunky boys. Our body relies on them. As long as you don't receive too much of it and it's mostly unsaturated fats, you're good. Getting into a relationship to save help fix men someone. A lesson that people hopefully learn young. TV and movies show some messed up relationships that seem normal when you are inexperienced at dating. I see the Buffy and Angel relationship very differently as an adult compared to as a teen. Edit. The age-exp gap is a big one. But he also turned evil after they had sex, and then stalked and psychologically tortured her. Try telling someone young and in love that the person is bad news. They won't listen, but after the breakup, they would hopefully learn how to spot an a-hole or cheater. Could you give me a too long didn't read? I haven't watched the show and I am not planning on starting. Vaginal washes on a daily basis so it smells like lavender instead of what vaginas are supposed to smell like. It's unnecessary and changes your pH down there and predisposes you to infections. Vagisil is terrible. I got a yeast infection from using it. Years ago when my doctor found out my mom and I were using it, he recommended that we stop and only use unscented bar soap. But even then you don't need to go to town with it as long as you're clean. Those stupid juicing detox programs. Your body's liver and kidneys naturally detox your body so long as you drink plenty of water. This whole notion that you are detoxing your body with juice is asinine. There's something about sitting on the toilet for the whole weekend that's really appealing to some people, though. Hell, have a hard night of whiskey and stouts and you'll clean everything out on the toilet the next day. Whiskey shits are the best cleanse. Getting lemonade or some other juice, rather than soda at a restaurant. Or even having it at home. I started to drink more apple juice than soda at home and I quickly noticed that there's way too much sugar in there. I usually add water. Tastes a lot better. The vast majority of salads at restaurants. A handful of lettuce buried beneath fried chicken, cheese, and ranch dressing. Don't come at Cobb salads like that. I fully agree with you. But I get grilled chicken salads because I like them. I'm a fat guy, so when I get one at a fast food place they probably think I'm trying to be healthy. Some days I just feel like eating something cool instead of hot food and I love grilled chicken. Sometimes I get a vegetable only salad. But if it was for health reasons I'm sure I'd have defeated the point with ranch or blue cheese dressing. Gatorade. Not a healthy alternative to soda. Drink water. But it has what plants crave. Water? You mean like what's in the toilet? Vitamin water. It's stacked with ridiculous levels of sugar and no vitamins. I love that and the lawsuit against them for just this reason. Their argument was something along the lines of, no reasonable person would think vitamin water is a health beverage. Sure. Coca-Cola argued in its defense that no reasonable person could be misled into thinking vitamin water was a healthy drink, despite label names such as Defense, Revive, and Endurance, for its different flavors of water. Last year, a federal judge rejected this defense, but the outcome of the suit is still pending. BusinessInsider.com link. Cable news. People who watch it think they're better informed by watching 6 hours of news a day, when they're really just buying into the fear/anger/outrage cycle which just feeds back into watching more of the same. Edit. Since I keep seeing the same replies over and over, a few responses. I don't have a national source I can definitively recommend for news. Some local stations can be good, but many of them are actually owned by a large media group at this point and can't be trusted blindly either. I've seen more replies than I'd care to admit which are, yay, this biased thing is terrible. This other biased thing is what you should trust. I wish I had time to point out that problem to each person, but sadly, too many people are doing that to do so individually. Please, folks, use multiple sources which don't rely on each other. If there's others, I'll add in more later. I get all my news from Reddit commenters who didn't read the article. This is the way. Declawing cats. It's literally amputation at the first knuckle. Painful as duck. Healthy alternatives. regular trimming and scratching posts. Not gonna lie, I used to tell myself if I ever got a cat, I'd declaw them right away. I hate the scratches, the damage to furniture, etc. Then I heard how it's done. Now I just decided I'll never get a cat. I can't do that to an animal for selfish reasons. If I can't deal with the potential consequences, then I'm not fit for one. There are plenty of cats sitting in shelters that have already been declawed by their past owners and could use a home. I think a lot of millennials and Gen Zers are beginning to catch on to how bad it can potentially be, but I think dedicating your life just to work is really unhealthy. I mean, fair enough if you have a job you really enjoy, but even so, if you dedicate almost every waking moment to your job, there's a problem generally. It's not a great attitude. Live to work. I can't stress this enough. I had a job like this where I was working 70-80 hours a week as a salaried employee. Cuts continued to happen and the responsibility continued to pile on. I was out of shape and probably would have died young if I continued working there. I made a change and my stress levels have decreased significantly. I'm eating right and I'm getting enough sleep. The food pyramid that was popularized by the USDA is a terrible idea. A lot of people today have realized this, but many older folks still see it as the Bible of good eating, and they are very fat. The fact that it's pyramid not triangle means there's two secret sides. The forbidden fruit and Dippin' Dots for sure. Shielding their children from every conceivable horror in the real world until they're 18 and naive as duck. Straight up let your kids get scraped knees and watch an R-rated movie every once in a while. This was my wife. Parents shielded her from everything. Needless to say, she went a lot crazy when she got to college. If you don't let your kid be a kid while they're a kid, they're going to be a kid as an adult. Absolutely anything Gwyneth Paltrow likes. I don't understand how that company is allowed to make the claims or sell the products they do. May ma pass on jade eggs in the vagina. It's not really fair to say things are healthy versus unhealthy. A burger is a nutritious food. You have carbs, fat, protein. But if you're eating burgers all the time, you have a problem. People like to answer these sorts of questions by saying yogurt with the implication that it's marketed as healthy, but actually junk. It's not the case. For example, you can eat those 80-100 calories cups of yogurt that have 8-9 grams of sugar, 10-15 grams of protein. I'll usually have one of these a day, or you can eat one with 200 calories and 30 grams of sugar, and almost no protein, and have them all the time. There's a difference. Smoothies are often seen as healthy, too, but you can easily cram 1000 plus calories into a smoothie and it feel like a light snack. But if you are careful about what you put into the smoothie, it actually can be a light snack. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.